Hello, 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 my beloved souls. It's Twin Flame Tuesday. So sorry for the hoodie. It's a little chilly where I'm at. I pick up weather patterns. So if there's a cold front coming in, I'll catch it before it even gets here. If there's a heat wave coming in, I catch it before it even gets here. If the storm's coming, I feel it within my system. I'm a walking weather radar. It's so fun sometimes. Anyway, so that's the hooded look. I'm inside today, but we got to do what we got to do. So anyway, my beautiful twin flames, right? Welcome, 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 welcome back. We have this beautiful final week of Libra season. We're heading into Scorpio season, which is also going to take us into eclipse season. And then we have a Mars retrograde coming at the end of the month. And I'm saying all of that to say this. For some of you, you may be picking up these energies kind of soon. I know I did the Divine Masculine reading, and we're already in the pre-shadow part of Mars going retrograde for the Divine Masculines. Mars being retrograde is really going to affect how we are healing the divine masculine energy, right? So whether you are incarnate and really in your divine masculine energy, or you're just healing the divine masculine within you, right? Because we're all feminine and masculine energies. Some of you may be picking those patterns up, right? You might be feeling it. So might be feeling a little aggressive, might be feeling a little sensitive, depending on how you're communicating, right? We just want to be mindful of our words. So we started the year with the retrograde, with Venus retrograde, helping us to heal the divine feminine. And now we're ending the year with Mars being retrograde, helping us to heal the divine masculine. So super important and super helpful, especially for the twin flames, right? Because we want to show up as our fully healed and active and present feminine and masculine selves, right? We want to be elevated and really balanced in our energy so that we can come into union, or if we are in union, we can keep that energy, right? We don't want to be the runner or the chaser. We don't want to be in separation. We want to make sure that we're balanced so that we're showing up fully and, present, and then we're also receiving that back from our partner. So Venus is still in Libra at this time, again, with this energy of relationships being highlighted at this time. And not just a relationship between you and your twin, but all relationships, right? So whether that's a relationship between you and your parents, or your children, or your family, your friends, your coworkers, however it is, right? Wherever relationships are coming up in your life, they're all being highlighted. And anything that has an unhealed kind of pattern within it is being brought to the surface, right? So abandonment, resentment, bitterness, jealousy, um, financial stuff, right? Maybe even your relationship with money might be highlighted at this time, right? Um, all of it. It doesn't matter if you felt something at 5 or 55. It's being brought to the surface, and not for judgment, not for criticism, but just so that you can have an awareness of it, so that you can do something about it, right? Like awareness is a very powerful tool. I'm sure you guys have heard me say that before. I post that all the time on Instagram and Facebook, right? Awareness is a powerful tool. When we know better, we do better, right? It's so much easier to fix something when you realize it's broken, not so much when you don't, right? Simple stuff. So we also have Chiron retrograde in the sign of Aries. Again, Chiron is the wounded healer. We're really being drawn to heal our relationships, starting with who? The relationship with yourself, right? Self love is the best love. That is one of the primary things that you learn on this twin flame journey is to love yourself fully. Fall so deeply in love with yourself that you're reflecting that back out to the universe, and that's what you're receiving back from the universe, and not just from your divine counterpart, but from the universe as a whole, right? All aspects of life is going to start loving and supporting you when you learn to start loving and supporting yourself. Okay, so self-love is the best love. You got to really, really focus on healing these energies, and the only way out, my loves, is through, right? We're not, there's no more pushing the stuff under the surface. There's no more hiding from it. There's no more burying it. There's no more shoving it in the closet. There's no more acting like an ostrich and putting your heads in the sand. The only way out is through. Lean into it, feel it to heal it, so that you can move forward. Right? It's time to let go of the distorted patterns that we learned as children. Right? And so many of us grew up not seeing healthy examples of what a healthy, loving relationship looks like. Right? If you grew up, like I did, just seeing a lot of abuse and violence and neglect and abandonment and jealousy and, all, violence, that might have been your normal, right? Or maybe if you grew up in a single parent household, right? And one parent was very bitter and resentful of the fact that the other parent was not doing their part, right? Those are some of the things that we pick up as children, and we don't always necessarily realize it, right? We don't necessarily realize that we've picked this up, or that was some we've learned an unhealthy behavior, right? We need to kind of like unlearn these things. And so all of that is being brought to the surface right now. And especially with the Divine Masculine Collective, right? Divine Masculines are really struggling with not just running, right, or ghosting their divine counterparts when things get a little rough, right? Or not sabotaging the relationship when it feels good and they feel like something's going to be taken from them or it might be too good to be true, right? I'm seeing a lot of that with my clients, right? The rug being pulled from under their feet so that they have these kind of epiphanies and wake up calls like, hey, your divine feminine is a safe space, right? This is healthy love. This is someone who is pouring into you. This is someone who wants to, do the dance with the cup. Like, this isn't someone who just wants you for your money or how you look or, you know, um, your status. This isn't someone who is pretending to love you and then going to turn around and leave and abandon you. This isn't someone who wants to be cheating on you all the time, right? Like, we're seeing all of that playing out. And unfortunately, a lot of divine masculine energies are running scared, and so that's something that has to be addressed at this time. Like, why are you running? Who are you running from? Are you running from your divine feminine, or are you running from the part of you that would have to heal in order for you to receive that love? Are you running from the part of you that's acknowledging, hey, like, I'm scared to love because I learned that love equals pain. I learned that love equals abandonment. I learned that love equals, jealousy. I learned that love equals abuse. I learned that love equals, you know, um, financial abuse or physical abuse or emotional abuse or mental abuse. Like, again, just because someone put in a category of love doesn't necessarily mean that they even knew what love looked like, right? So many people in my life, like love was very transactional for them, and so it's like, oh, do you feel like you have to earn somebody's love, right? Or do you feel like you have to work really hard in order for someone to love you? Do you feel like you need to give, 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 give all the time? And then you have these like kind of like unexpressed expectations within your dynamic and then you get frustrated when they're not met, right? Like, are you assuming that, like, well, if I give you all this time and this energy and all this money, that you're gonna just automatically do it for me, and then when you don't, then I get frustrated and I'm resentful and I'm angry about it? But I didn't tell you to do all of that. Like, maybe I thought that was your love language, right? And if that was your expectation of me, maybe we should have had a conversation, right? For some people, their love language will be gift giving and notes and, letters and, the cute text messages and, the roses and the flowers and, the candies and stuff like that. And for other people, that's not their language. For other people, their love language is something a little bit more practical, like, I'll change the oil in your car, or I'll help you move, or, you know, this, I don't know, cooking or cleaning, things like that. For some people, their love language is sex. Like, we need to, first of all, first and foremost, you should know your own love language before you have like high expectations on another person, and then understand that not everybody's going to express love in the same way. All right. I have a lot of friends that are very like cold, it would seem, to others, right? But I know that they're not necessarily being cold. They're just not the emotional type, but they're showing up and loving me and supporting me in their way. It's not going to be the sit on the phone necessarily and cry and all that stuff, but they're going to come with practical advice, a game plan, resources. You know what I mean? They're going to empower me. They're going to put the battery in my back and help me to remember my own self-worth. And other people, it's going to be, the massages, the dinners, the little gifts, the flowers, the things that just make me, feel good, So it depends. And that's how you need to be looking at your dynamic with you and your divine counterpart. Like, what is my love language? Self-knowledge and self-realization will help empower you as well. Then we go back to the energy of awareness. And then what is my twin's love language, right? And is this even my twin? Or is this a karmic or a soul teacher that came in to activate me for this path so that I can learn to love myself? So I can learn to stop thinking that love needs to be earned, or that I need to chase it, or that it's going to be hard work, or that I need to sabotage it, right? So that I'm getting healed and doing the inner work so that I am ready for that divine union when it does come to me, right? Like, where are you at on your journey? right? Take stock of that. Just because somebody starts checking off some of the boxes on your twin flame list doesn't necessarily mean that they're your twin flame. And a lot of people right now are starting to realize that, right? A lot of people are starting to like take a step back as we're being guided to its beautiful energies of, Chiron being retrograde in Aries and Venus in Libra, to look at your relationship and be like, huh, yeah, this person did activate these things for me, but they're abusive. That's not your twin flame. Like they're narcissistic. It's not your twin flame. You really think like the other part of yourself is going to want to hurt, abuse, and misuse you? Do you really think that that is a divine union given to you by the Most High? It's not. It's not, right? And I know that we kind of want to romanticize what a twin flame relationship is. It's so great. You see it in movies, you read about it in books. There's 9,000 freaking videos about it on, YouTube and everywhere else, and all these different articles about it. But just because it clicks some of the boxes doesn't necessarily mean you have to shove it in there and make it fit, right? Have the awareness of, wow, I know what a twin flame union looks like, and this person is amazing. Okay, well, maybe they're just a soul teacher, right? Maybe they're karmic. Maybe they're here to teach you to love yourself, to value yourself, to know your worth, to have an awareness of where your unhealthy relationship patterns have come from, to see what an unhealthy relationship looks like so that you know what to aspire for in a healthy relationship, right? These are the things, people. These are the things. So anyway, thank you, angels. Thank you guys for being here with me in the Twin Flame Collective. What do we need to know? What do we need to see for this last week in Libra as we're heading towards That's so funny. As we're heading towards Scorpio season. I'll show you why I'm laughing in a second. Oh, the jokes, the jokes, the jokes. In order, we got release your ex, calling in your soulmate, express your love, new love, wedding. In order. Normally, I don't even care about the order, but I just think it's really funny that that came out like that. So, number one, first thing we got to do is let the past go, right? You have to, now you have to, we have free will, you can do what you want, but you're being guided, being guided to let the past, it's got to go, right? You're in your living room. You're looking at your furniture. You're like, you know what? I want a new living room set. My couch is falling apart. I don't like the dining room table. I want to change things up. You go to the store. You get a whole new living room set. They're going to deliver it the next day. What do you need to do? Come home and get rid of the living room set that you have. Why? So that you can bring in the new. What are you gonna do? Have two couches, two dining room tables, two coffee tables? It makes no sense, right? It's time to let this energy go. And I know that it's hard. I know, listen, I know that it's hard. I know that it's hard. I'm going to tell you again, I know that it's hard, especially when you're comfortable and you're familiar. For some of you, you've been with your karmics and your soul partners, soul teachers for years. Some of y'all have kids together, right? Like some of you live together. This is not something that you can just easily just pick up and walk away from. But guess what? You see how she's holding her head and it's exhausting? Like it's time to let that energy go. It's exhausting you. It's draining your energy. It's not serving you anymore. What were the lessons within this dynamic that you needed to learn so that you can move forward? That is why we have an awareness of it. That's why all this stuff is bubbling up to the surface. It's like, what did I need to learn so I could move forward? I don't want to hold that. I don't want to hold on to that anymore. I don't want to feel like that anymore. Right? I don't want to to go home and be miserable or to just feel like I have to do this or like, oh, well, the kids would be upset. Like, what about you? Are you miserable? Are you suffering? Right? Yeah, your kids might be a little bit upset if things don't work out between mom and dad, but guess what? A lot of children would be much better off if you guys weren't together because they don't need to see the arguing, the misery, the abuse, the the bitching, the nagging, the side talking, the low vibrational energies, the cheating. They don't need to see all of that. You're not benefiting them by sitting and suffering. right? That's how are you, what are you teaching your children? Oh, well, you should stay in something and suffer and be miserable. Is that what you want for your happily ever after for your kids? Like, you love your son, you love your daughter. Is that what you want for them? Is that what you want for your best friends? Right? To just sit and suffer and be miserable just because they have somebody, right? Just for the sake of saying, like, well, I'm in a relationship. That is an act of not loving yourself, right? That's all you're doing. You're showing your children, this is how I don't love myself. This is how I don't respect myself. I'm going to make myself miserable just so I can say that I have a family, just because it looks good to other people, because I don't want other people to judge me. But meanwhile, I am not loving myself. Is that the lesson that you want to give to those that are closest to you, to those that are watching you, that are going to be modeling their lives behind you? Think about that. And once you release that ex, guess what you do? You're calling in your soulmates, right? There's no twin flame card in this deck, so use it as that, right? You're calling in your twin flame. You're putting the energy out there. Look, I'm cleaning house. I'm getting very clear about what it is that I'm looking for in a divine counterpart. I am starting to reflect that out, right? I want someone who is loving and loyal and honest and fun and financially responsible and great in bed. And guess what? I am becoming that person, right? So now I'm reflecting that out to the universe. And so now the universe is aligning it with those types of people, right? That is what we get. That's why the angel is standing right behind her, right? She's getting really crystal clear, helping to manifest that dream. Express your love, write it down, right? Write what you're looking for. We have a new moon coming up, I believe October 25th. Oh, which is also when we have that partial solar eclipse in Scorpio, right? So get really clear about what it is you want. Maybe write a letter to your beloved. If you're in, union or communication right now, like open your heart and express yourself. Sometimes it's hard for our divine counterparts to express themselves, especially be mindful of the divine masculines at this time, because communication is going to be kind of wonky as they go retrograde into Mars, right? But we want to be mindful, one of the things that we're saying, but we also want to kind of open our hearts and express ourselves to let the other person know, hey, this is a safe space, right? I'm being open and honest and vulnerable and authentic right now because that's what I want from you. And I want you to know that I'm willing to put my feelings and put my heart out on the table, and I'm willing to potentially get hurt here because I want you to know that I love you this much in this dynamic, that I want you to feel safe to do the same, right? And it starts with opening our hearts, right? Stop unfreezing that energy. Stop being so guarded, thinking, like, well, I'm going to leave them because they're going to end up leaving me anyway, right? See a lot of that sabotage behavior coming out. Or, I hate this quote, but it does resonate with some people, hurt people hurt people. I think unhealed people, not hurt people, because I've been hurt a million times and I'm not out there trying to pour my traumas onto people, but I will give you my story so that you can understand where I'm coming from and understand where I'm going. You know what I mean? But a lot of unhealed people out here are still out here trying to start relationships, right? Instead of healing, they're out here dating, right? So you just need to be mindful of that, right? And that's where that self sabotage energy comes in. That's where that I don't know how to receive love energy comes in, because they're still kind of on the bridge of coming from one trauma, trying to find their happily ever after, but never really dealing with the trauma to begin with, right? And so then we create this beautiful safe space where we're communicating with one another and we're letting people know, hey, it's okay. This is a safe space. It's okay for you to tell me you love me because I love you, and it feels good to hear that, and it feels good to show it, and it feels good to receive it, right? And once we get crystal clear with the universe, guess what? We get to bring in that new love. You see how he's bowed down before her, right? It's like we bring in someone who's going to see us, hear us, feel us, remind us of our sovereignty, remind us of who we are as a god, as a goddess, as a queen, as a king, as an emperor, as an empress, right? Somebody who sees our worth and is going to acknowledge it and it's going to pour into us, right? That's this new beautiful love that you got coming in. So it's time to release the karmics, the soulmates, the soul teachers, rather, the old you that isn't showing up in your full divine self, right? And even if you are in union right now, right? This may be you guys just like elevating, sorry, I have hair in my mouth, elevating to the next level, of your dynamic, right? Just because you're in union doesn't necessarily mean things are perfect, right? We still have work to do, right? We still have work to do. It's just not nearly as heavy, but we still have work to do. So if you guys happen to be getting triggered right now, right, that's something that you need to acknowledge and just be aware of. And then bottom of the deck, wedding, right? And then we get to go into union, right? To our happily ever after, right? We get to solidify our connection and we get to move to the next level of ourselves, right? And it started with what? With letting go of the past and being willing to freely move away from it. And yeah, it may not be like, oh, I dead my ex on Monday and then Friday I'm with my divine counterpart. Like, no, there's still, we still got time, we still got learning, we still got healing to go through, right? But then we know we're on the road to union. Then we know we're on the road to our happily ever after. We're making the steps every single day. We're doing something about it, right? Every single day we're doing something about our union, about our connection, and we're showing up in our full dynamic selves, right? We're making an effort to love ourselves so that we can be and give that love to our divine counterparts, right? You cannot give what you do not have. How are you going to talk about loving somebody and giving them love if you don't even love yourself? Once again, are you staying just because it looks good, because this is what people will want, because you think it will hurt this one and that one? Because those are acts of not loving yourself. How can you love yourself? How can you love yourself? And no, you don't want to hurt anybody intentionally, obviously, right? But again, we have karmic teachers and soul teachers here for a reason. These people were put into our lives to help us heal, and they have to help us heal the things that we can't learn in our twin flame dynamic, right? Some of these lessons in self love and self worth and self realization and respect and loyalty and honesty and jealousy and resentment and sabotage and fear and ghosting, these some of these things we can't learn from our twin flame, right? Yeah, your twin flame might ghost you and might run away, but are they going to be the narcissist? Are they going to be draining your freaking bank accounts? Are they going to be putting hands on you? No, that's not a divine union. That's not a divine union. Okay. Just because they check off some of the boxes doesn't mean that's your twin flame. We have false twins for a reason, to help us be activated, to help us learn, to help us heal, and to help us grow. Okay. I'm going to pull some chakra cards as well for you guys, as well as a card from the healing mantra. So thank you, angels. Thank you, guys. I want to just do, I was going to say I just want to do one, but evidently more messages are coming out. Ooh, okay. Wow. So we got root chakra twice, sacral chakra twice. You know what? I'm only going to do the one because this is the one that just caught my attention. So we got the third chakra with the solar plexus. Third chakra is what? The divine masculine energy, right? That's between our like chest bone and our belly button. Freedom of choice. I have the freedom to choose, so I choose wisely because my decisions have a great impact on how I see myself and how I feel about myself. What did I just say about self-love? That's all I'm saying. I own, accept, and express my feelings unreservedly. Express your love. And do not try to escape them with my own mind games. We can no longer hide, tuck away, shift away from these energies. You got to feel it to heal it. You got to lean into it, right? We need to face our demons, face the lion on the path. And then you realize that there actually is no lion. When you face your demons, you'll realize, hey, I love myself and it's okay that I'm not perfect. You'd be surprised how freeing it is to just honor the light and shadow within you, right? You are made of both. Having a shadow doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Having a shadow means that you're aware that you have some things that you need to work on and that they've helped to get you to this point. A lot of our shadows help to protect us and guide us to where we are today, right? We couldn't, that egoic part of us helped to get us here. It helped to keep us safe in a lot of situations, right? Our spidey senses went off, right? It got us out of some really freaking toxic situations and dangerous, um, situations. So don't be so quick to dismiss the shadow, to dismiss the ego, right? The ego is going to tell you when you fall down, hey, get back up. You know what I mean? Don't let these people think that they're better than you. Like that's the battery in your back sometimes. Don't completely dismiss it. All right? I have free will. Yes, you do, my beloveds. Yes, you do. I have free will to choose how I respond to any situation. I choose to respond with wisdom, clarity, and understanding. When you're choosing to respond in this sense, you're not choosing from a space of fear. You're choosing from love. Why? Because you love yourself. A person who loves and respects himself isn't out there being a douchebag or disrespectful to other people. When you love and respect yourself, you honor other people because that's what you want to get back, right? A person who respects themselves respects others because that's what they want to get back. They give what they want to get, right? We show people how to treat us. By loving and respecting yourself, you're showing other people how to treat you. You're setting healthy boundaries. You're setting healthy boundaries. We're not building walls and blocking people out. We're setting boundaries, right? Boundaries are like fences. They're like gates. You can still see through it. You have the discernment of whether or not you're going to open it up and let people in, or if you're going to keep them out. But that's where discernment comes in, okay? A beautiful healing mantra. So thank you, angels. Thank you, guys. What one message we can give to the beautiful Twin Flame Collective for this? I said one and I gave you two. I can't. Exploring unity consciousness. I am one internal light appearing as all. Check out the sacred geometry on that. And listen, I am one eternal light appearing as all. People project or reflect back to us aspects of ourselves, right? They're either projecting their fears onto us or they're reflecting back to us a part of ourselves. So what are you seeing within your world right now? What are you seeing within your connections, within your tribe, within your circle, right? Are you sitting in judgment and condemnation of other people, not realizing that they are an aspect of you? We're all aspects of the divine, right? You may not like how God's kids show up, but at the end of the day, they're just as much a child of the Most High as you are, right? And so instead of sitting in judgment and condemnation, kind of look at it like, why does this bother me? Why does this irritate me? Why do I care? Right? That's the big one. It's like, why do I even care? If some stranger came up to you and like said something about your outfit or a smart comment about how you're doing things, you probably wouldn't pay it any mind, right? What if that's fact? Like, I don't give a fuck about that person. I don't even know them. Who the fuck are they? But when your twin says something, right, and it kind of gets under your skin and you feel some kind of way, that's a big flag that I need to kind of heal that energy, because why am I so bothered by this, right? If they're freaking running and ghosting and they go silent on you and this is becoming a freaking habit, then you need to be like, hey, what do I need to see in this, right? Maybe I need to set some boundaries, right? My love is not a revolving door. I'm not a punching bag. I'm not a doormat. This isn't a yo-yo. Stop playing with me. You know what I mean? Putting it out there. And then inspiring others. I love this. This is why we come together as twin flames, to raise the consciousness and the vibration of the planet, right? And so when you're walking in your truth and when you're walking in your path and when you are so deeply in love with yourself that you're radiating that out to the universe, guess what? You're a guiding light for others. I help others feel empowered by acknowledging their gifts. I help others feel empowered by acknowledging their gifts, by acknowledging their gifts, right? I'm a big supporter of people. Big supporter of people. I'm a big fan of people. I celebrate people all the time. I celebrate their wins. I celebrate their losses. I celebrate their attempts and I celebrate their failures. Whatever it is, I'm a big celebrator of people. Why? Because people need to know that they are great, that they are amazing, that they're trying, right? Like sometimes that's all you need to do is just let a person know, like, yo, you're really dope. Like, you're really dope. Like, how are you not giving yourself credit? I had a conversation with my sister the other day, and she can be very hard on herself. And I'm like, but you've done ba 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 ba, and then you did da 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 da, and then da 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 da, and I just like went down a list for her. She's like, wow, and I'm like, yeah, like stop where you're at right now. Instead of just striving for the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, like stop where you're at right now and just acknowledge, like, hey, I'm walking up this mountain and yeah, I haven't reached the top yet, but I'm no longer in the valley, right? Sometimes you just got to stop where you're at on the plateau and just look out and check out the horizon from where you're at and know that it's great, right? You guys are doing this deep work on this twin flame journey. First of all, signing up to be a twin flame is no easy feat, right? Like you're faced with these challenges within yourself in your own lives, right? And then your twins challenges, and then you guys are triggering one another. And then there are people all around you within the collective who think that you're freaking crazy and stupid and that you don't know what you're doing, and a person is just like dumb, and why would you even think that? And how could they possibly be your twin? And then, so you got the judgment of society, you got the fears and traumas from your twin, and you got the stuff that you're healing within yourself. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, right? And sometimes you just really need to acknowledge, like, hey, you know what? I'm not perfect, but I'm better every day, right? And I'm trying. And no, I don't know everything, but I know more than I did today. And no, I haven't reached the mountaintop, but at least I'm no longer in the valley, right? I started the journey. Right now, I'm just on a water break. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Acknowledging somebody else's gifts, talents, skills, triumphs, achievements, accolades does not make you less than, right? It doesn't make you less than. All you did was put a spark into someone else's heart. All you did was pour love into somebody. All you did was express to them exactly what the Most High sees within them, right? You're seeing them through the eyes of heaven. That's why we do this thing. That's why we show up. That's why we pour into people. That's why I do this every week. That's why I do these messages every week, because I want you to know what the Most High wants for you. I want you to know that you are divine and that you're deserving and that you're worthy and that you're loving and that you're amazing and that this journey may not be easy, but that you're built tough like a freaking fort, right? You got this. You got this. And sometimes, yeah, it can be a little challenging. And sometimes some days are harder than others. And sometimes the win is only that you got out of the fucking bed today and you didn't just lay there, right? Sometimes that is the win, right? It doesn't always have to look big and huge and have a freaking award, right? Sometimes just waking up and getting up is the accomplishment, right? You're still on this path as a twin flame. You're still on this journey. You're still trying through the challenges, through the tears, through the fears, through the ghosting, through the separation, through the nonsense, through the ups and the downs, through the 20-year age gap or the same sex union or the difference in our, religious and spiritual um followings, or, the fact that we live on other sides of the world. Like, you're through it all. Through the comments from your family and friends, and people that love you, like through it all, you're still showing up. You're still doing it. You're still accomplishing all your goals and dreams, right? Amazing. So acknowledge that, right? And don't give up on yourself and don't give up on this journey, right? It can be a little challenging. It can be. And for those of you that are union, you know what I mean? Because you're in union right now, you're still working it out, right? It's not like you guys get into union and it's like, oh, everything is perfect. No, we're still freaking human beings, right? You have learning to do, your divine counterpart has learning to do separately. And then you guys are just walking this journey together. It's like, you know what? I know this is my person, right? We're walking this path together, and it's like, you're not perfect, I'm not perfect, but we're going to be imperfect together, and we're going to finish this out, right? You have your divine mission that you're working on, they have their divine mission that they're working on, and then you guys have a mission together. You're working it out. You're working it out. Is it always easy? No. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Absolutely. If for no other reason, that you just learn to love yourself. You just learn to love yourself. So whether you choose to keep walking down this twin flame path, or you choose to get a divine counterpart that is just like another soulmate that's in alignment with you because you don't want to just do this heavy work anymore, right? Free will is your choice. You have the option. I know a lot of twins that are just like, I'm good on the twin flame thing. Like, they're just tired of doing the work. That kind of work with all the triggers, right? They're still doing the work on their own. They just don't want to be dealing with a situation where they're also being triggered by another person all the time, right? And there's nothing wrong with that path. Whichever way you choose to walk it and to step into it, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. You got this. Hands down. Hands down, hands down, hands down. You got this. Just keep going, right? The only way out is through. Okay? The only way out is through. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I love you guys so much. If you want to book a reading with me, especially like a twin flame road to union, look at the box below. But anyway, I love you. God loves you. Angels surround you. Later, my beloveds.